Today we're going to be making a crustless quiche in the brick oven. Welcome to my brick oven lifestyle. Okay, so we're going to make a crustless quiche. The first thing I did, after I already started my fire of course, is put my cast iron skillet in the brick oven, and I have it heated up to the temperature that we're going to be cooking at, which is about 375. So let's take that out of the oven. It's very hot, always wear gloves. Close that to keep the warmth in there. Okay, I have to be very careful. There's a very hot pan. I'm going to first add a little bit more olive oil. I greased the pan lightly, but I'm going to put just a little bit more oil in there. Now I'm going to add my ingredients. And this recipe is really up to you, what you like in a quiche. I'm using a little bit of onion. This is about a cup of onion. Now you can hear that sizzle right away because the pan is already cooking the onion. All right, and then to that we're going to add about a cup of, I decided to use some beef sausage. I cut it up into smaller pieces. It's always better to keep things uniform in the size that you're making them. Keep things a little bit smaller so that they cook faster and a little bit more evenly. Put that in, and then I decided to put a little bit of broccoli in there. I like the color and I like broccoli, so I have 3/4 of a cup of broccoli. Stir that in there. Now you can still hear the sizzle. Pan's starting to cool down a little bit because we have all these ingredients going in. The last thing is I did a cup of bell pepper. I decided to make it more colorful with yellow and red in there. I just really wanted a bright, happy looking quiche. So I got all the different colors. Then I'm just going to put a little bit more oil on that and some pepper and some salt. Then we're going to put it in the oven at 375. And it's going to just cook for maybe 5-6 minutes at the most. And really, I'll check it, but I don't have to stir it a whole lot because with the brick oven, the nice thing is it's cooking from the top down and from the sides and from the bottom. And the cast iron really helps give it more of an even heat. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back into the oven. Then I'm going to set my timer for about 6 minutes, give or take a little. I'll check it in about 3 minutes, make sure it's cooking well. Okay, before we mix up the egg mixture that goes into the quiche, I'm going to bring the veggies out. They've been in there for several minutes and we'll see how they're doing. You can hear them. They're searing a little bit. You can hear that noise, which sounds nice. It smells really good. Everything's cooking nice and evenly. Again, it's so nice when you cook the veggies in there that they have a nice charred flavor. Plus, you don't really have to move them around that much because they're already getting cooked from every different direction. I'm going to go ahead and put those back in and let those finish cooking. They're about half done while we mix up the quiche. Okay, so the second part of the quiche, got the veggies in the oven still. I'm going to mix up the eggs, and we're going to also use a cup of shredded cheese. I used some sharp cheddar and some Swiss. I decided, again, I like the different colors. Some potato, like hash brown. They can be frozen. These ones are mostly not frozen at this point, but either way is fine. And then I have a 1.5 cups of whole milk. So now I'm just going to break the eggs up. These are 10 eggs that I already cracked, put in the bowl. And you can use a whisk, you can use a fork, anything that you prefer is fine, as long as you whisk this really well. That's the big thing is you want to whisk it to a point where you start getting those bubbles on top. It gets frothy. It helps get more air into the eggs. So I whisk it when I start seeing the bubbles. Then I go ahead and add the 1.5 cups of the whole milk. I'm mixing up the eggs in the milk. I'm starting to get the bubbles forming. That's what we're looking for. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in the salt and the pepper. Okay. So at this point I got it mixed pretty well. I've got the bubbles going, so that's good. I'm just going to go ahead and put the potato in. And most of the cheese, I'm going to leave out just a little bit of cheese to put on the top of the quiche. Once it's baked, it's going to melt in on the top real quickly. So I'll just set a little bit of the cheese aside. Now I'm going to bring over that means my veggies are just about done too, so that's perfect timing. Bringing over my cast iron dish. It's actually kind of hot right now just from sitting out in the sun. And I don't usually preheat this too much. I don't want it cold, but it's a very nice temperature right now just being in the sun. I've lightly greased a 12-inch cast iron dish, and I'm going to just pour this mixture into the dish. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to check my veggies. They should be just about done. We'll get them out of the oven. Oh yeah, they're just about where I want them to be. That was perfect. 5 or 6 minutes. So let's just stir this around a little bit. Okay, so I'm now going to pour this mixture right in. Try to spread it out, although you can do that once they're all poured in. That's pretty good. Right. And then just trying to even it out, get everything spaced well, so everybody gets a bite of all the different veggies and meat that's in here. Okay, so we have the quiche all mixed up, and I'm going to put it into the brick oven at 375 for about 40 minutes. Probably be checking it at 20 minutes or so. The thing you really have to watch out for is the browning process. You need to check it. If it's starting to brown on one side more than the other, just simply rotate that pan a little bit. I usually rotate it a couple times while it's in there. If it gets too brown, if it's just really browning up too much, just take a sheet of foil, put it over the top of it, and it will still cook really well. It will just not brown so much at that point. So I'm just going to open the oven door that's set at 375 right now. So I'm going to push it in here. I'm going to keep it out of the flames. So it's really the radiant heat from the brick that's cooking this. And we'll check it in about 20 minutes and see how it's doing. Set it for 40 minutes. We'll check it about 20. Check the quiche and see it's getting close to being done here. It's browning nice and evenly. I haven't really had to rotate it a whole lot, which is nice. It could actually be done. We'll check it here. 2 ways that I check is I look at it first to see if it's starting to pull away from the edges, which you're starting to see some of that here in the corners. Now, and I'm also going to use a toothpick and just put it in a couple places, and if it comes out clean, oh, that looks really clean. Let's do one more. That's actually pretty good right here. You want it to be not quite cooked, close, because this cast iron dish is going to continue to cook for a little while too. So don't bring it out when it's just a little bit too overcooked and dry. It's still going to cook some more. This actually looks really good. I'm happy with it, and I'm just not going to leave it in for any longer. We only had a couple minutes left on the timer, and that's why it's always important to check, keep checking on things. Depending on the temperature, it might cook a little bit faster. So it's come out very nicely, and I think we're ready to eat. If you enjoy our videos and like the brick oven lifestyle, please feel free to subscribe so we can send you new videos and updates.